Canada's home. When I'm going to be in Canada, I'm going to be like, I need to go home, which is Uganda. So it's okay. You don't have to have one home. No one's ever said, home is where the heart is. That's what everyone always says. Home is where you are, baby girl. Home is Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where we're all about leveling up, elevating, and living our absolute best lives. Today's video I really wanted to do after speaking to many people over the last, I would say like 2 months, who've either moved back or, who've moved back and been here for quite some time. And I feel like there's never gonna be a time where you feel like you aren't homesick and like you don't need to go back for a little bit or to go see what used to be your norm, or like, you know, just nostalgic for how you grew up or whatever it may be. So I figured I want to do this video just to touch on a few key points that I noticed that a lot of our conversations kind of were around with various different diasporans who now live here, and even some people who are just here for a long period of time, but they like maybe relocated for a bit and like are leaving Uganda and not coming back. But yeah, let's get into this video. So I think one of the key things before moving, especially if you're fortunate enough to be like Indigenous Ugandan, would be to create a network before you just take the leap of faith and leave. I think it's important to come back a few times and just have that network of friends and family and people you feel familiar with. I would definitely say just because someone is family and like you grew up doesn't mean that you're going to be close later, or maybe there are people you had met back in the day, maybe a friend and that was a friend for 5 years ago and now you guys can be really close now. So I think it's really important to kind of cultivate those relationships before making a move to any country. For me, for example, I was fortunate enough to have family friends that, thank God for them, they're my core and they keep me sane while in Uganda, because there's times where I was just like, I don't understand anyone, I don't get it, what is this? They kind of bring me back and like ground me and like really a reminder of something familiar. And what's great too is that we'll do fun little things where it's just us and I'm like, oh, okay, all is well in the world again. My core group of friends has especially saved me when it comes to situations like, you know, like birthdays, holidays, things like that. It's just been a freaking amazing. I don't even know how to say thank you to all of them. Like, they have really been my family. It's been beautiful. So yeah, I think I highly recommend, don't just pick up and move somewhere. Really and truly create a network. And even if you can't do it physically, maybe you don't have the means to at the moment or the time, you could always cultivate those relationships online. It's 2021, there's no excuse, but you're still able to do that. So like I said, if you're moving somewhere new, really and truly create those relationships and have those core people for when you feel like, I just need to be home, I want to be home. Yeah. And also remember, you have 2 homes now. So as much as I might say home is Canada's home, when I'm going to be in Canada, I'm going to be like, I need to go home, which is Uganda. So it's okay. You don't have to have one home. No one's ever said, home is where the heart is. That's what everyone always says. Home is where you are, baby girl. Home is where you are. Another big thing that has helped me and continues to help me on a regular basis is to remember why I moved to begin with. Because sometimes you do get frustrated in an environment that you're not completely used to on a regular all the time. Or sometimes you get lost. Sometimes next thing you know, it's been 2 weeks and you're like, all I've been doing is going out every single day. I've been having so much fun. But it's like, why did you move? What is the reason why you are where you are? So for example, for myself, I was like, a big thing for me moving was family. I was like, I wanted to create a legacy financially for my future family and my current family as well, obviously. So I think that's a big thing, is to remember your why. I know it's kind of cliche because all those self-help coaches always say that, but like, remember your why. Remember your why. So another thing that has been my saving grace as well whilst living in Uganda has been to travel. Literally, I think it's so important to travel. So see something new, get out of your everyday norm, get out of the repetition of seeing and dealing with the same people all the time. This also goes to people who are living in their hometown or home place or wherever you're from. I think it's so nice to just get out of your everyday mundane. It helps you appreciate where you're at. Like every time I travel, like, I love where I go. Even just for example, this pandemic, going to other places in Uganda, I'm like, oh my God, I love this. This is so great. The minute I open my door to return home, I'm like, I'm so happy I'm also home. Like, I love my home. It just makes you appreciate your home more. And what's that other saying that people always say? Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and that's me. Like, I need to miss things. I need to miss people. people. I need to miss. If you're always constantly there or something's always constantly there, I just get used to it. I think that's just human beings in general. I don't think that's me a problem.
Moving to Africa, specifically Uganda, was really daunting with little to no information online about where to live, how to start a business, what to eat, where to hang out, all of that amazing stuff. So I figured I'd start a website where you can book a consultation with me and ask me whatever you like, and then also updates based on the diasporan community that we're growing here on YouTube. So definitely go and check out the website and join.
So another thing that I do, generally every day, but worst case every 2 days, but definitely I'm on this on a regular basis, is to talk to family, FaceTime family constantly. I don't care where I am, I FaceTime them all the time. And what's great is I have 3 sisters and my mom and my dad too, but I usually just audio him if anything. But I literally, if one person doesn't pick up, I'm like, one of y'all better pick up. And if it's a day that no one picks up, I'm like, going on in the world, what is happening, because they all live such different lives. So I'm like, somebody will pick up. Usually it's my mom and my sister who follows me. They're usually the ones who are constantly on it, but I love them. Even if I'm having like a terrible day, they kind of bring me back to, because they know me as Rachel from the womb. Like they know every part of me and every bit of me. So sometimes they bring me back to reality when I feel like everything is just going crazy, or when I'm just so oh my god, and they'll say little comments like, oh, you've been partying, a party woman these days, and I'm like, okay, clearly I need to chillax. So I think it's so important as well just to FaceTime, just FaceTime, pick up the phone and FaceTime your loved ones. So a little bit contradictory to my last point, not my last one, but like a previous point I made, but have a routine that you're used to that makes you feel familiar to being home. I know I said earlier you don't travel often to get out of the mundane, but like you do also need a little bit of a routine. One thing that I stuck to that I'm like, I can never let go of is my morning routine. Even when I'm places, like I sleep places that aren't my home, and I'm like, oh my god, I need my morning routine. I don't feel whole. So just like whatever that may mean to you, I'm not saying go and create something new that's different, but like whatever is something that you commonly did. Maybe it's a morning coffee that you went and picked up somewhere. So maybe it's not Starbucks anymore, maybe it's a Cafe Java's. You know what I mean? Maybe I don't know, something that sports, like watching your sports regardless of the time difference, being like, okay, no, I need that level of familiarity of home, and do the whole shebang, wear your jersey and do the whole same thing that you normally would do. Music, whatever it may be, that level of being rooted and grounded in you as you, keep that wherever you go, wherever you may relocate. Don't let go of that. Of course you're gonna get used to different traditions and customs and whatever, but that routine, have that, tweak it to wherever it is that you move to. So don't let go of that bit of you. I think there was a time where that was happening, and I could see it even in friends of mine that I know of, and I was like, okay, I can see where you do need that little bit of something. So for the very last point, to piggyback off of that last point, is to do things that make you happy, that are a bit more active, that are similar to what you would do at home. So for example, I love classes, like active physical classes. So when I had a gym membership at LA Fitness, I used to do all the fun little classes like yoga, Zumba, whatever it may be. I remember doing kickboxing when I was younger, and I remember before I moved, I really wanted to get into like those dance classes where you do it in heels. I really wanted to do that. So we don't have as many options here in Uganda, but if you're moving to a country that does, I would highly recommend to get into those things that you get to meet new people, you're also adrenaline rush, you're being physical and active, so it's also a healthy thing, so highly recommend. For me, I had to kind of think outside the box. I found pole dancing classes, absolutely loved them, and by the way, kudos to strippers, because it takes a lot. It's one class, and the next day I couldn't get out of bed. My whole body was like, and it literally was an hour class. It wasn't, and there were so many of us who were taking turns. The whole class, I was like, I just want to be on the pole. I want to do all these cool things. I want to do all this stuff. Next day, dying. Kudos to strippers. You have to be hella, even pregnant strippers, I'm like, you have to be hella fit and balanced. Like, what? Then you see the ones doing like the surfboard, like there's 2 of them, one's surfing on the other one. Guys, anyway. I see why they make the money they make. But yeah, so I did pole dancing classes, I've done boxing, and I always feel like I'm in touch with my Rachel, like the depth of me as me. Anything that gives you familiarity of home, but also at the same time being in touch and tune with yourself. it helps so much with being homesick. So yeah, like once you have all your friends, take them on go on trips with them. If not, go to these classes with them. Create that network, create that ecosystem for yourself, that world for yourself, and I think it makes such a difference. But of course, last thing I have to say on this whole list, number 8, a little bonus, go home. Go home as often as you can. Maybe if you're fortunate enough and you didn't move as far as some of us, you can go home a lot more often. But for the rest of us it's a pandemic, it's a lot. Like my sister came and literally just her wahala, I was like, Jesus, that's what traveling, like, and it's crazy, that's what traveling from North America is like, but like going to just next door, like Kenya, is so much easier. It's not that hard, it's not that serious. I was just there like, I don't know if Canada's gonna see me as frequently as I had wanted, but it is what it is. Anyway, I hope this helps tremendously with anyone who is feeling homesick, who is relocated to Africa, or anyone who is planning to come to Africa and is looking for a plan of a routine, or just to make sure they're looking out for things prior to coming, which is also extremely smart. Kudos to you. But yeah, I hope this video was super helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the description box below. Also, please remember to subscribe, hit the bell notification button, leave a comment, and I will check you guys in my next video. Bye guys!